Music in video games is something otherworldly, in the sense that it's not like normal music you'd listen to on the radio. An original soundtrack, or an OST for short, is varied depending on the situation and the game you're playing. An example of this is any Pokemon game. One minute you're walking in a cave, exploring and making your way through it, and the next thing you know, BAM! The music changes because of an event. Sometimes the music builds the world and makes it feel like it's alive. Most games, if not many, depend on music as a whole. An example of this would have to be a DDR game. Take away the music and you're just there, staring at a screen, waiting for instructions. The same could be said for games like The Last of Us, or maybe something that depends heavily on music. Music in video games are some, if not the best, for just listening to on long trips in cars, planes, or even on a train. The thing about music in video games is that it's not limited to only building atmospheres in games. It can range to things like the title screen, or even the menu screen. Or music could even let the player know that there's an enemy nearby, or it can even make the player feel like there's danger nearby. Game over music to make the player know that the game is over and you pretty much fucked up. And even music that makes the player feel like they're in a safe place. Things I just listed were only a small portion of a variety of ways music can be used in video games. With this video, I wish to share my joy and personally my favorite OSTs from games I like or maybe even dislike. I'll be dividing some of them up into a couple of categories. What's happening on the screen, what the player is doing at the time, the emotion it invokes in a player, and even the world building.
Number 1! Animal Crossing!
Now, it's no secret, but just in case if you didn't know, Animal Crossing changes music every hour, which makes it almost amazing in terms of music! But any Animal Crossing game you play has an amazing array of variety in the soundtrack, no matter what the time is. Now, there is no boss fight in Animal Crossing, so most of the OST focuses on more mellow tunes and rhythms that fit with the game. In the morning, the soundtrack is more cheery and makes you get ready for the day ahead, while in the evening, the songs are more calm and more laid back when all the shops close and the NPCs and villagers start to go to sleep.
Number 2! The Legend of Zelda!
Now, this is going to be a bit difficult of a choice to specify what game has the best soundtrack, so I'm going to go pick 2 games. Those games are Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was for some of us a mind-blowing game back then when it first released. The graphics were out of this world, but with a game like this, the music played a big role in it. So you get this one item called the Ocarina from your friend after escape of the forest where they keep little kids. Kinda creepy once you ask me. And you can use it to play music and shit. But later on, the ocarina that your friend gave you gets replaced by another ocarina that's given to you by Princess Zelda. With the new enhanced ocarina, you immediately equip it to your person and throw the other ocarina that your friend gave you with love and care and power dump that shit into the trash can where it belongs. Anyways, once you play a song on the ocarina, there's a theme that plays after it depending on what song you played. And they're all great. Breath of the Wild is a different story. Since the game is set 100 years after an horrific event, the soundtrack reminds me of a new beginning. It can get dramatic at times, but overall the soundtrack makes me feel like I just woke up after a coma. Which it should, because that's the beginning of the game.
Number 3! Super Mario Odyssey!
You thought I was gonna go this entire video without talking about Mario, huh? Well, too bad! Mario Odyssey has such an amazing soundtrack. It's pretty much illegal to talk about soundtracks in video games without mentioning it. But I gotta tell you, man, everything about this game just screams love and care. The animations, the levels, the gameplay, fuck it, even the story! But above it all, we have the soundtrack. Oh my god, this shit's good! You got the New Donk City theme, which in my opinion, I know I'm not supposed to give my opinions, but the theme makes me want to go to New York, order a slice, and watch hobos have a fist fight over a dead rat corpse. It's so goddamn good! Oh yeah, Jump Up Superstar is alright too, I guess.
Number 4! Sonic the Hedgehog!
Okay, you can all calm down. Let me explain. In the years that I grew up with video games, I was more of a Mario fan than a Sonic one. Shocking, I know. But I did own a couple of Sonic games throughout my pointless life. I've played only Sonic 1 and Sonic R as the old classic Sonic, and only the bad 3D Sonic games growing up. With the exception of Sonic Mania Generations and Colors on the Wii, the games will forever be my favorite Sonic game.
Number 5, NieR Automata.
NieR Automata is a game where you play as 2B, an android sent by humans to destroy robots. But later on the robots show emotion and you start to feel sorry for them and start to question your own purpose. The music in the game can range from melancholy to so tense it can physically give me a heart attack. By the way, speaking of the vocals, those aren't real. Yep, it's not real language. I did research and it turns out that the language that the vocalists are singing aren't actually real and it's just a made-up language.
Number 6, Halo. All of them.
Aside from the theme that's being sung by obvious angels, the Halo soundtrack has some of the most amazingly talented scores. As a Halo player myself, I spent most of my childhood with Halo as a whole. Yeah, I did play Call of Duty and other stuff, but Halo, man, that was such a good game. I've played all of the Halo games, but like a normal person, I skipped over 5 because I'm not stupid. But also because it didn't pull me in like Halo 4 or any of the other ones did. There was just something odd about it. Anyways, I still like the OST from Halo 5, so who cares?
Undertale.
All jokes aside, Undertale has some pretty good bangers. Although I've never really delved deep into Undertale for obvious reasons, I still like the soundtrack and I still think that it has some amazing scores and memorable songs. Of course, Sans themes is one of them, but you gotta acknowledge my boy Papyrus. His spaghetti's amazing. Aside from that, the game has 2 possible options for all the songs. If you proceed through the game and don't kill a single enemy, at the end the game starts to get crazy and the boss fights become something otherworldly. But if you decide to kill everything in your path like a normal RPG, the game becomes more somber and the songs become more, how do you say, different. I mean, the game kinda gives up with the music and you're just stuck there moping and thinking of what you done. It's kind of sad.
Persona 5.
God, I love Persona 5. God, I love Persona 5! In Persona 5, you play as a high school student who was framed and set to live with his uncle on parole. But later on, when you head to school, something weird happens. The whole game revolves around you living a double life. One is a normal high school student, and one is the leader of the Phantom Thieves. You battle shadows and demons of corrupted adults and essentially try to make them good again. The battles are cool and all, but this game just oozes style and pizzazz. The vocal themes and the battle themes make the combat and the game feel like it's essentially alive. It makes you feel like you're actually a hero defeating a villain, which is pretty cool. The soundtrack, in my opinion, excels in 2 parts. One part's where you're relaxing in the real world, just doing normal high school student stuff, and the other part is during the battles and palace explorations. Overall, the game soundtrack goes hard, but one soundtrack that stood out to me so much was a track called Beneath the Mask. The reason why it stood out is because it made me remember the days where I could relax after stressing out in high school. Beneath the Mask is a song that just screams, "Hey, play me while you're reading a book in a cafe, while also talking to that one smart girl you like, while enjoying a coffee while it's raining." It's really a good game.
The real question to be asked, where have I been? I'm a shapeshifter.
Devil May Cry.
One word. Stylish.
I'll take that.
Devil May Cry's whole deal is that it's a stylish hack and slash. Couple that with the fact that the gameplay and the story is bizarre, and what do you expect in a game like this just makes the game so goddamn good! No, not you, DMC2. You can go sit in the corner where you belong. Devil May Cry's soundtrack is what a teenage rebellion would sound like if you owned a PlayStation instead of a Dreamcast. I just want you all to just, play Devil Trigger when y'all lower me into my grave. Just do that, please. For the sake of this, we'll be talking about DMC5, because fuck you, that's why. Devil May Cry 5 is a game where you play as Nero, the protagonist of DMC4. The events of DMC5 take place a year after DMC4, which explains why Nero looks like this. I mean, I love it. I love Nero no matter what, so it didn't really bother me. It wasn't like another character who mocked a certain hairstyle. Anyways, DMC5 is a sort of a return to triumph for the series. The last DMC game came out in 2014, so seeing this game do amazingly well was a good feeling. Aside from the combat being orgasm-inducing, the visuals look amazing and the soundtrack sounds like I'm fighting off undead hordes of demons while shredding some sweet licks on my air guitar. The track we all know and, we love is Devil Trigger, which turned into a meme because the DMC fanbase loved the song so much because it sounded like a song that belonged in Devil May Cry. Aside from that, DMC5 surprisingly has some decent variety in terms of other songs. One example of this is Nico's theme. It's calm, relaxing, and a complete 180 from everything else in the soundtrack. Nico's theme reminds me of a safe space, which it should, because that's what it is. Plus, Nico's perfect. Like, she's the perfect waifu.
Did you just sniff that? Do you have any idea where that's been?
Up your butt?
Also, another reason why DMC5 is on here is because of the game's dynamic audio mixing. The song changes depending on what rank you get. Get a D rank, you get the instrumentals. Get a C rank, and the song starts to amp up. Get a triple S rank,
Smoking sexy style!
Yeah, DMC5 has some amazing music. Well, there we go. A few of my favorite soundtracks in video games. Of course, I couldn't name all of them because if I did, we'd be here for quite a while. But music in video games is an important part. Sometimes your game may not be the best, but the fans will remember it because of the game's soundtrack. For certain games that have you grind in a cave or grinding in a dungeon, the music needs to be something that the player won't get sick of after hearing it for 5 minutes. Music in video games is a valuable resource, whether it be for nostalgic's sake, but hearing someone play the Super Mario theme on any instruments makes me have a huge smile on my face because of how happy it makes me. It invokes a sort of feeling that makes me feel bliss and happiness. Because spending so much time on video games, the soundtrack starts to become more than just a simple background music. For some, it becomes a reminder of simpler times. Well, that's gonna be it for me, but I hope to hear from you guys in the comment section of what your favorite song or soundtrack from any video game is, and also the reason why you like listening to it. Hey guys, thank you for watching this episode of Nintendo Classics. I worked a little bit harder on this episode than I did the other ones in terms of voice acting, so I hope you guys enjoy. And if you do, please leave a like, favorite, and comment on the video, and as well share this video if it's going to turn out. See you guys when I see you guys, hopefully real soon. But until then, don't be a stranger. Bye!